Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tochi. In this video I'll be talking to you guys about my daughter who showed signs of autism and ADHD while she's been growing up. So first of all, I give the glory to God Almighty because he's been with me all through this journey. He's been with us all through this journey, and I'm very sure that we would not have made it this far without him. So yeah, all the glory to God. But then we put in some physical activity as well. We put in some physical work as well to make sure that we got this far. Yeah, we actually have come a long way from all the signs we saw. So growing up, my daughter showed basically all the signs of autism. And we were very, very worried. And like I said, we put in so much physical work, and right now she is doing very well. We went through this journey without any therapist. We have never met a therapist before. We basically did our learning at home. Everything my daughter knows she learned from home, and yes, also from school, but I believe mainly everything she learned was from home. So if you have children that are autistic, I'll be telling you guys a few tips you could use to help them at home. So if you cannot afford therapy, you can actually, do some work yourself. So guys, if you're interested in this video, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and you can also drop a comment in the comment section so we can interact. So first of all, for people who do not have any idea of what autism is, I'm going to be reading the definition from Autism Awareness Center, and they define autism as a lifelong non-progressive neurological disorder typically appearing before the age of 3 years. The word autism means a developmental disability significantly affecting verbal and non-verbal communication and social interaction. So yeah, a lot of people do not even know what autism is, and this makes it really hard for parents not to know when their children are crossing certain milestones late, or when the children are actually autistic, because autistic children cross their milestones really late, and some of them don't even cross some milestones. Let me talk to you about my daughter's milestones and her growth process. So I had my daughter at 42 weeks. She was just a beautiful and perfect child. Everything was very, very normal. She did not have any problems. She did not have any health issue throughout till we left the hospital. She was doing very well. I breastfed her exclusively for 6 months, and then I breastfed her exclusively for 6 months, and then I stopped breastfeeding at 13 months. So she started walking, I think at 13 months. She started walking at 1 year and 3 months. Yeah, that's 15 months. She started walking at 15 months. While she was about less than a year, I think at some point, she was saying mama, she was saying dada, especially dada. Yeah, she was saying dada, but she did not do it for a long time. She was saying bye bye. She could say dada, she could say mama, she could say bye bye. This was before she clocked 1 year old. She was saying some little words. She could understand some things. When you call her, she could answer her name and everything. This was about before 1 year or thereabout. When she got to 1 year or over a year, suddenly it seemed like she regressed. Meanwhile, I would like to mention that her milestones, she crossed all her milestones late. She sat up late. So yeah, she was able to say certain words, and she could answer her name. Her name is Abigail, and when you call her, she would answer her name even before 1 year old. So yeah, she was very alert and everything. So before she clocked 2 years, I noticed some strange behaviors and setbacks. Even in some videos I posted a while ago, you guys will notice she used to lie down on the floor a lot, and I mentioned one time that Abigail would just go to the floor, lie down and cover her face with a pillow. She loved being under something. She loved being under her bed. She loved being under the pillow. She loved being under the table. Anything like a furniture, she would rather stay under than stay on top. She stopped answering her name. It felt like she was no longer with us. At a point when she was about 2 years and 2 months thereabout, she became different. She was not this happy girl that we used to know. She was very distanced from us. You call and call and call her and she would not answer you. The only thing she was responding to was her songs. So when you call her, because at a point we actually thought maybe she had problem with her hearing, so we tried different methods just to test her hearing. I would go a distance and call her name, Abigail, Abigail, Abigail. Abigail will not answer. But if I go that same distance and say, row, row, row your boat, she'll quickly look at me and come to me to hear me sing the song. Or if I play it on my phone, play something else on my phone, one of these children songs on my phone, she'll be so interested, she'll run to me to listen to it. So yeah, she was very interested in music, and that was the only thing that we could use to get through to her. Like, if you want to play with Abigail, it is only music. That is the only way you could get through to her. This was about 2 years plus. Another thing we noticed was that she always avoided eye contact. When you're talking to her, she would not look at you. She would try her very best to make sure she doesn't look into your eyes. So you're talking to Abigail like this, and Abigail's face is here, or Abigail's face is here. It looks like she's not even listening to you. It's like she's not it's like she's not there. Like everything you're saying is falling on deaf ears. So when you're talking to her, it's like she's elsewhere. She's lost in deep thoughts. Sometimes she will just stare, and she will stare into space and start laughing like something was funny, even when nobody said anything. She would just be laughing, like it felt like she was thinking of something, or like she was seeing something every other person wasn't seeing, and just laughing. And she will stand up and she will run round and round and turn around like she's playing, or she will run back and forth, laughing just all by herself. And even when you try to stop her, the laughter is so heavy that she doesn't even want you to stop her. She wants to just laugh on her own. Then she would come to the kitchen sometimes, take some ingredients like tins, pile them up. She was always piling up ingredients. Wherever she goes to my room. She'll take my accessories, my makeup and all that, pile them on top of each other. If she's not piling them up, she's lining them up, so she can take whatever she sees that looks similar. She would always like to put them on top of each other, make them to form a line, which is, if you're familiar with things autistic children do, you will know that this is something they really love to do. They're always piling up things, and it's a red light. So when she wants something, for instance, she wants a ball, she would not say, I want a ball. She would not, if she cannot reach the ball, she will drag you, she will hold your hands, pull you to where the ball is, and try to place your hands on top of the ball so you can bring it for her. She never tried to point. She never pointed. Initially, she was waving goodbye. She stopped waving goodbye. So there was like a regression before she got to 2 years. There was a regression, a very big regression, because she was doing very well. She was kind of meeting up, and at a point she just slowed down. It's like it felt like she lost everything. The words she used to say, she lost them. She used to say the waving, she stopped waving. Pointing, I don't think she ever pointed before. I'm not really sure if she ever pointed, but if at all she did, she stopped pointing. She could not let you know what she wanted by pointing, and if you point to her, she will not look at the direction of your finger. She would rather drag you to where she wants you to pick something for her and try to make you pick it or cry or whatever just to make you pick it. Even before that too, we had to put her in school because we felt she was our firstborn, and maybe because it's just me and her daddy in the house and she doesn't really have people outside, she doesn't interact with people, there's no social relationship she has besides myself and her daddy. So we felt like school was the best option, where she'll meet her mates and try to play and interact with them. But then when she started school, there were some complaints, not really complaints, but her teacher noticed some things that she had to point out to me. Like, Abigail will come to school and Abigail does not talk to anybody, Abigail does not play with anybody, she will just go and lie down under the table, that is, lie down under her teacher's table, and if you try to bring her out from the table, she will not be happy. So that was basically where she was doing her own schooling, and the teacher would try to pull her out, she would cry, and at the point I think the teacher herself started getting tired of trying, and so she started leaving her there, which I don't think is right. But then she used to leave her there sometimes, and sometimes they managed to bring her out, the whole crying and everything. Yes, and yes, and yes, she was very sensitive to sound, because we used to do morning devotion. The moment we start clapping our hands, like she doesn't mind her cartoons being loud, she did not mind her music being a bit loud, but she could not stand the sound of a clap. She could not stand very loud sounds, shouting. Something else she used to do was she did not like hugs and cuddles. So even if she's crying for no reason, which she hardly ever did, if you spank her, she will not cry. Like, she could tolerate pain. Even if she falls, she will not cry. If something happens to her that a normal baby would cry, Abigail will not cry. She will just get up and move on. So when you try to cuddle her, hug her, she tries to like set herself free. She doesn't like the whole mushy stuff. She did not like that close body contact thing. She just wanted to be free. She showed no fear to dogs and animals. She showed no interest with playing with her fellow mates, playing with children. Even when we took her to her cousin's house, she was not interested in playing with them. Yes, she could have been interested in their toys, but not interested in playing with them. And no, she did not pick a particular toy that she liked. She played with every toy, but she was not interested in playing with any child at all. In fact, I think she related better with adults, which was even bad, because she would not come to you except she has seen you for a very long time, like her grandma. Yeah, she would only come to you when she knows you, like she has seen you, she has watched you from a distance for a very long time. But as for children, whether she knows you, whether she sees you every day or not, she just had no interest mixing up. Something else that children used to do, pretend plays, make phone calls, pretend to, even if it is just to pretend to put the phone on your ear and say hello. Abigail did not do that. These were the red lights I saw in my daughter that made me really get worried and concerned, and I started trying to look for solutions, trying to help her meet up with her milestones, help her meet up with what she's supposed to be doing at the time, because she was really backward. It's very common to hear people say, don't compare your child to other children, every child has their own timing and everything. But I would say no. It is very important that you know the regular milestones children should meet up with. It's very important that you try to know how far your child is from her milestones. I'm not saying you should be worried, but it's important that you know that this child can walk, my own child cannot walk, and you help your child to meet up with those milestones. It's important that you realize that this child can talk, my child cannot talk, and you try to make your child meet up with those milestones. It is very important. I do not believe that saying that you should not compare a child's timing and milestones with another child. It is very important, because a lot of times parents take these things for granted. For instance, I have a friend who has a child who showed signs of autism. Unfortunately, she did not know what autism was, and she did not do any research. She was just a little worried. Her son was talking, he was saying mommy, daddy, he was saying quite a lot of things, but at a point started slowing down. He showed all the signs, but yes, he was saying mommy, daddy. At a point he started slowing down. She did not know what was happening, and eventually at 2 years and 4 months old, he stopped talking. That was when he said his last word. And as I'm talking to you right now, the boy is about 7 or 8 years old, and he still has not said a word. I heard that children cannot be like, you cannot be sure a child is autistic. You cannot diagnose a child that is less than 3 years in the US. So I heard. I do not know how that works, but I know that as a mother, when there is a red light, you should be able to sense it. This video is not for only mothers, but also fathers as well, parents, teachers, whoever. I'm not in that field. I am a teacher, but I am not in that field. I'm not a special education teacher. So yes, I don't really have the authority to tell people how to do their jobs. But one thing I know is that there are certain signs that you see that ring a bell. There are certain signs that you see that just scream red light, and you should be able to chase. You should be able to you should be able to avoid any possibility of falling into that deep pit when you see the red lights. Unfortunately, people will tell you, leave the child, you are disturbing yourself, your child will meet up at the end of the day. No, it doesn't work like that. Sometimes you have to help the child. Sometimes you need to push the child. And sometimes it is not even your fault that your push was not enough to help the child, because there are different stages of autism. There are different stages, there are different levels of autism. So what I think about my daughter, I feel like when we took her, there was this program we went for. It was a GTB Autism Annual Conference where they bring certain people together, certain specialists together, from behavioral analysts to speech therapists to child psychiatrists, special education teachers, and different people in different fields. It's a beautiful program and it's free of charge. So when we heard about it, we knew we just had to go there, because so many things were slowing down in my daughter, and we just wanted the best for her. Even though she was picking up, yes, she knew her ABCs, yes, she used to sing, but she wasn't talking, she was only singing. So I may not be very clear with my dates and everything, but at some point my daughter started singing, and she sings with lyrics. So yes, she was verbal, she was never non-verbal. It's just that at that 2 years and 2 months, about 2 years and 2 months, I was very, very scared, because it felt like she was even losing her voice. It felt like she was just slow, like she would just stay like this. She could stay like this for a very long time without talking, without doing anything. It felt like she was sad. It felt like she was unhappy. It felt like she was somewhere else, like her mind was totally somewhere else.